Welcome back to Crypto Disco, everybody. Talking about XCN again, a little bit, take a quick look at the chart before we get into today's topic. It's been struggling lately. It's kind of funny. Back here in July, I don't know what happened here. Somebody did a market order or something, but huge wick there. So somebody snagged a profit there, whatever happened there. But sitting right over 0.0012 cents right there. It's been holding steady past couple days, but it's been struggling. The rest of the market is down. I mean, Bitcoin right now is at 54,000. It's been tanking here. Still some sideways action. Probably not going to see anything until October. September is generally not a good month for crypto as a whole. And you see Ether here. It's just been in a huge downtrend, especially if you match it up against Bitcoin. It's been struggling. So we're looking at XCN today. If you haven't seen it yet, go take a look at their white paper and read it. It's got some really good information in there. Today we're going to talk about the RWAs, or real world assets, putting those on blockchain. If you're not familiar with it, people have talked about it with XRP. VeChain is an older blockchain that's been actually have some of that in fruition. They actually had a really interesting thing going on. They have a partnership with UFC, and they actually have tokenized the fighters' gloves. It's actually pretty interesting. But as we get into it, so really what RWAs are is it encompasses any assets with economic value, which is literally anything going from gold to real estate, watches, UFC fighters gloves that we talked about, anything else that can generate cash flow but are not inherently blockchain native. So originally it's anything that's not on the blockchain that is an asset. Can be tangible and intangible, physical or digital, and span various sectors and industries. Talking about properties, real estates, vehicles, art, painting, sculptures, digital art, so NFTs, commodities, gold, silver, oil, etc. And RWAs represent a significant market opportunity, accounting for over 250 trillion of global wealth. So the last bull run, the total market cap for all crypto is a little over $3 trillion. $3 trillion, right? That's a straight crypto. So just think about what the value will be once you get some RWAs and real world assets coming onto blockchain. Now, I'm not just talking about XCN in general, I'm talking about all of crypto. So all the different blockchains, if they start incorporating more RWAs and that gets figured out, because obviously if you're talking about like real estate, you still have a deed, right? How are you going to transfer that deed unless you're just using it to put it on loan as collateral, right? To generate some type of income. So there's some different legal things that are a little bit trickier and need to be worked out to be able to actually make it happen in fruition for those types of things. But gold, silver, whatever, if there's somebody that's holds it, some type of custodian that ensures a holding, whatever else, and then if you just own the RWA token that's on the blockchain, then you can go and collect. So some of those things are a lot easier to be able to do. If I hold a gold bar in my hand and try to tokenize it with an RWA, that's a little bit difficult more to do. So there's some things to be worked out on the process how to do it, but significant value, just the global value of 250 trillion, right? So total market cap for crypto, $3 trillion, right? We're a little over 1%. I mean, that's crazy, right? So huge amount of value could be unlocked and liquidity going to the blockchain. Just think it could do for the market cap for XCN, of course, and also crypto as a whole. So the problem is the illiquidity of those in high transaction costs. Like if you're trying to buy gold, like a gold bar, gold coin, whatever, you got to pay a spot fee. Lack of transparency. The buyers and the sellers have the information, but obviously it's not public information and limited access. So the issues restrict the full potential and value creation for asset owners and investors, and scoring the need for tokenization. So tokenized real-world assets on Onyx are RWAs converted to digital tokens that represent ownership or rights to the underlying assets. The tokenization brings RWAs onto the blockchain, integrating them with the decentralized financial system. The only problem is, though, is that how do you actually come into possession of it, right? Is it just going to be somebody who's going to have a custodian of the physical asset itself, or how's that going to work out? So that's one thing I'll be interested to figure out how that's going to actually work when it gets integrated into the blockchain. So Onyx facilitates access to RWAs, enabling isolated lending pools where users can borrow against RWAs or earn yield by providing liquidity. So this will be probably the majority of the use of RWAs, right? Because I'm not going to be able to just transfer like, oh, hey, I want to sell my house. I'm not going to be able to just transfer you the deed to my house via an RWA token or a piece of gold, right? Because that's just not how you're going to transfer ownership that way. So it's mostly going to be for lending and getting liquidity. But how that works in the details will be interesting. So, but the big thing about it is doing so is going to be reduction in transaction costs and friction, less intermediaries and paperwork, verification, settlement. So you have a one-time upfront verification of that asset, and then that just makes the lending process faster, more cost-effective because you don't have near as much paperwork and fees and everything that goes along with that. So Onyx RWA isolated lending pools provide lending and borrowing opportunities using the RWA as collateral. I mean, it's kind of similar to using your current token, using Onyx as collateral in a lending pool, or XRP in a lending pool, Bitcoin. Same thing, it's just a different asset. It bridges the gap between traditional and decentralized finance by bringing RWAs on chain, unlocking the potential for lenders and borrowers. So I think what the big thing is going to really do for most people, especially people like myself, if you're like considered Main Street, right? Like we're just the average Joe, right? Blue collar, even white collar, whatever you want to call it, and you're not Wall Street, and you need to generate more, or don't necessarily need to, but necessarily want to produce additional income and earn yield off your assets. Like if I have a couple gold bars, which I don't, but if I did, I mean that'd be nice. But hey, I want to earn some yield off of that. You could tokenize it, put it on there, put it on a lending pool to earn some collateral or earn some yield from that collateral. So it's another way to get some liquidity from the different assets you own. So Onyx achieves this by tokenizing the RWAs and issuing digital tokens that represent ownership or rights to the underlying assets. These tokens be used as collateral to borrow stable coins or other crypto assets, whereas credit assessments access lower interest rates or higher loan amounts through isolated lending pools. The lending mechanism relies on over-collateralized loan-to-value ratios, we'll come back to this, over-centralized loan-to-value ratios, requiring borrowers to deposit your RWA tokens as collateral exceeding the loan value. This ensures security and assurance for lenders in case of default or liquidation. And so if you want to go down and get a loan, right, say a personal credit loan for 10 grand, if you got good credit, you just sign your name. That's your collateral, right? Or if you want to do a home equity line of credit, right, a HELOC, like your house is your collateral. And you probably, if you have a mortgage against your house, you're not over centralized loan to value ratios. So what this does, it protects the lender. If you're borrowing a stable coin, say USDC or RLUSD, if you're a XRP Ripple fan that they're coming out with, or on Flare it'll be USDX, whatever it is, it's going to be more than a 1-to-1. So it's going to be like a 1.25, whatever it might be, protect the lender. And what it does, even though it's over collateralized, right, you're unlocking liquidity that would otherwise wouldn't be there. So it's not kind of the same as where it's a normal asset like real estate that I'm going to borrow against, where, hey, I'm putting down 20% on the down payment for a mortgage to buy a house. It's not the same thing when traditionally, real estate goes up, and that's only because the dollar goes down in value. But that's a conversation for a Bitcoin video. We won't go there, but what's interesting though is kind of curious. It doesn't go into details here, and I'm sure as soon as they get closer to doing it, it'll come out with it. And they're kind of the same space as other chains, right? With real world assets. VeChain's been working on it for a while. They're one of the leaders in getting that actually in fruition. But obviously nothing significant yet where, hey, they're not doing gold or anything else or real estate or whatever else. So how's this going to play out? It's kind of interesting to see the timeline. I don't see this thing being, a near-term thing. It's probably here in the next year or two before it actually comes into more fruition. It's not going to be a real big thing. I think it's going to be really slow to adoption on not just Onyx, but just in blockchain in general. But what do you guys think? I don't know. It's certainly exciting. It's going to be a huge change for the global economy, for people to be able to access liquidity and borrow money where they're not going to need a credit score, credit system, which is awesome, right? Get away from the centralized credit system based off of your prior habits. It's based off your assets that you hold in your name now. So that is the big kicker that is awesome about doing real world assets. But what do you guys think? Would you participate in this? Would you have anything that you would sign up and utilize for that? I don't know. Maybe like, hey, I want to go buy more Bitcoin or something else, but then I got gold sitting around not doing anything. Let's go do that. I don't know. Really interesting. Anyways, like and subscribe. We'll be here next day or so. Talk about another one. Until then, we'll see you later. Bye.